I think those will each be ticket cards in a year or so. You'll get your money back eventually and double it. So again, Avacyn Restored, actually, we'll talk about Avacyn Restored. There's a couple cards I do like. I like Entreat the Angels just because it's another card that is going to have to be redeemed, and I think Entreat the Angels is too low right now. Eventually, I think we're going to see Modern pick up Entreat the Angels as it slows down. You never know. I think that UWR might. I've actually seen some UW control decks use Entreat the Angels very successfully in Modern. And it's a legacy staple. It's a casual, friendly card. Every EDH white deck loves it. For Paper Magic, of course, pick this up because I do believe it's only at 7 tickets right now in Paper Magic. Yeah, it's the historic low of Entreat the Angels. That's as low as it's ever been in both online and paper. And it might dip a little bit more, but you can start investing in Entreat the Angels right now. And I do not believe that you'll be sorry for it. It will go up. I mean, there's mythics from the Scars of Mirrodin block that see very, 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 like Blightsteel Colossus. It sees very little play in any format, but as a casual, very, very casual, friendly card, I guess, casual appealing card. And it's Blightsteel Colossus is one of those that's gone up a lot. And this card has a lot of potential. It has broke formats before, and it has the ability in the future to break the formats again. So Entreat the Angels, of course, is a great, great target. The other one I think is Terminus. Again, Terminus sees a lot of play in the formats that like Legacy, and again, it might not be such a bad card to put in Modern. I mean, UWR, I guess, like the more, or UW Control or something, they could definitely start trying for Terminuses. It's just hard to set up, is the problem, without Ponder and like Brainstorm. But in Legacy, I don't think Legacy is a dead format. Again, I'm gonna check, see, maybe this is more of a paper target. 3.55. You might let it go down just a little bit more in paper. The trend does seem to be going down from paper. It's gone down a lot since Gatecrash. So I think it might go down a little bit more, and then I'd start targeting this. So there you go. There's my Innistrad block cards that I think that you should target. M13, there's nothing really in M13. Maybe Liliana of the Dark Realms might be something you could pick up right now because it's being reprinted, and I think Liliana is going to see play. And I guess that's a good transition into my Dragon's Maze cards that I think you should be picking up, because I think that Swamps are going to be a very, very played card. If you checked out the M14 spoilers, there's a lot of cards that use Swamps. And I really think they're in the last 40 cards that need to be spoiled, there might be 1 or 2 more cards. I'm thinking there's going to be an artifact like Cobble Coffers that whenever you tap a swamp for mana, but I guess we already do have that in the form of Cryptghast. So I'm thinking that Mono Black might be a thing in the next rotation. So Liliana might not be a bad pick at 5 tickets, and on paper I think it's pretty low in paper too. $7 in paper. This, and historically, yep, worth the historic low for Liliana of the Dark Realms. I think it's time to pick her up. She will, like I said, she will see a reprint, but if she ever sees play as a mythic, she will increase in value. And a very good card. Morton's in love with this card. Morton always builds Liliana of the Dark Realms decks. So anywho, Omniscience is a decent pickup. It's legacy staple. It has not been spoiled yet for M14. I don't know if it will be. And yeah, there we go. That's definitely my speculation for the Innistrad M13 block. Now let's go on. Speaking of the Swamps, speaking of cards that I think are undervalued right now, I'm gonna focus on a couple of them on that swamp theme. And one of the first one I want to talk about is all of the swamp lands. They are all extremely low. Look at Blood Crypt here. Blood Crypt is 2.5 tickets. I think right now is probably the time that you're gonna need to start targeting the Shocklands. Yes, they've been printed like crazy, but this is a historic low. 2.44, 2.58. I really don't think the Blood Crypt's going to go much lower. In a couple weeks, M14 will start to be drafted. It's an awesome set. There's a lot of chase cards in it, and I think the Dragon's Maze, Return to Ravnica, Gatecrash is going to be ignored. And then, so Blood Crypt will increase in value, especially once the buddy lands, I guess is what you call them, out of M13 rotate, and we don't know what Theros is going to offer us. I mean, it might be a good dual land, it might not be. I think the Blood Crypts might see a lot more play, and of course it's a swamp land. These swamp ones are the ones I'm targeting. I'm targeting Blood Crypt, I'm targeting Watery Grave, and I'm targeting Overgrown Tomb and the Godless Shrine. Those are the swamp ones seem to be the least valuable ones, and there's really no reason. I mean, look, it's in Jund, which is like Jun just won a huge Grand Prix, and the Aristocrats won a Pro Tour not too long ago. I mean, it's a great card. It sees a ton of play, and I like I said, it works with Liliana, it works with Cryptghast, it works with a lot of these swamp mechanics that we're seeing in M14. So I think that if you're going to target any Shockland, Blood Crypt is definitely target number one. It works with a card that I think is underplayed right now too, which is Sire of Insanity, which I also think is a decent pickup. So Sire of Insanity here is definitely something at 0.2 tickets. Wow, look at this 0.2 online. It's its historic low. Pick Sire of Insanity ups. Look at all this play it sees. And definitely Sire of Insanity's only direction it's going to go is up. Even if it only goes up to a 0.5 ticket, you've doubled your value. And in paper, not so much. Paper, that might be about the right. Because I mean, I compare it to like Zealous Conscripts. Zealous Conscripts is a very comparable card to Sire of Insanity because it does play a specific role against certain decks. And Zealous Conscript in paper really only hit, I think, it was in a pre-constructed deck or a event intro pack or something like that. But yeah, historically, yeah, it only did hit about 2 tickets. So that might be the right, in paper, Sire of Insanity, $2.5 might be the right value. But Blood Crypt, at least on MTGO and maybe in paper, I think it will go down just a speck more in paper, and then they'll rebound back up to 10 to 12 eventually. But so right now, time to pick up Blood Crypt. Let's look at the other ones. Took up Watery Grave. Oops, not Ravnica. That will screw up our prices. So Watery Grave here, again at 2.89, historically at 2.3. I think this is its low. It's going to be its bottom. It's not bad. Esper is starting to see a lot more play. And look at this. It's still seeing tons of play. It's good. And yeah, Esper Control and Block. But Esper Controls are also starting to see a lot more modern or standard play. And then we have the Godless Shrine, which I've already talked about how I really think that Black-White Humans or the Junk Aristocrats, and look, Junk Reanimator, over 100 copies were used for Junk Reanimator. 3.7, it could go down a little bit low, but it's a safe target. It sees a ton of play. And then again, my Overgrown Tomb, I think is... And again, I'd actually target these Return to Ravnica ones because, again, I think Return to Ravnica is going to be redeemed a lot more. And so there'll be less of them on MTGO. And so I would say Overgrown Tomb, and the Blood Crypt are the two I'd particularly target. I'd probably diversify and target a bunch of them, but those are the two I'm going to be targeting. It's close to its lowest ever. I really think that it's going to go back up to this pre-gate crash price or pre-Dragon Race price of at least four tickets in MTGO. Not a bad investment again in paper. I do think it will go down a little bit more. I would start investing these in maybe 2 weeks, right when M14 comes out, and wait and see if they go down a little bit lower. Alrighty, so that is about swamps. That's my justification about swamps. And I've talked about the Sire of Insanity. Another card that I think at MTGO that is a little too low is Ash Zealot. I think Ash Zealot has gone down a little bit because it doesn't work with Burning Tree Emissary. But I think Burning Tree Emissary is going to lose its two favorite targets, which are Lightning Mauler and the Flinthoof Boar. And as soon as it loses its two favorite buddies, if it doesn't get two more buddies, I'm thinking that Ash Zealot might be a decent target for... I might be another decent card for red deck wins. And I'm thinking that multicolored... I'm thinking that red deck wins. I think they might actually... I talked about this with Micah. If you haven't checked out Micah's channel, we did a podcast. He'll be uploading it soon. I'll put a link somewhere. But we talked about how we think monocolored is really going to start coming back in Theros. There will be a lot of like triple greens, triple blacks, triple reds. And if that's the case, there might be a really good triple whatever red card, and you might see a mono red deck again be very, very popular. And Ash Zealot, of course, is just an awesome 2-drop. It's a 2/2 for 2 first strike haste. How can you go wrong with that? Another card is Loxodon and Smiter. Look how much play Loxodon and Smiter sees. Look at that. It's just, look at all these decks. It's crazy. Crazy play. A ticket. It's almost at its historic low. I think that it could easily hit 2 tickets, 3 tickets. Again, it's from Ravnica, which is going to be continually redeemed. I wouldn't discount the elephant here. I think it could. It definitely has some room to grow. It's a safe, if nothing else, it's a very safe investment. Then again, Champion did go down to 5, but Champion's hit higher prices before. Loxodon Spider actually does see some modern play as well. Alrighty, and I think actually Hexproof or El Bentalones, I guess is the deck. The enchantments, the green-white enchantments is going to be a huge deck. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that right now. You get the elf, the 1/1 Hexproof elf in M14. You also get Witch Slayer or Witch Stalker, Witch something. The wolf, the 3/3 Hexproof wolf. A 3/3 for 3 Hexproof wolf. Yeah, Hexproof Auras is going to be a deck. It's got Unflinching Courage. It's got Rancor for the time being. It's still got the Ethereal Armor. It looks like M14 is really pushing enchantments. Looks like Theros, since it's got a lot of Greek mythology, seems to be perfectly set up for an enchantment flavor. I wouldn't discount enchantments, and Loxodon Spider will perfectly fit in that deck, as it's 3 mana for 4/4 that has a big body. You can chuck an enchantment on it, and you can chuck like a Troll Hide on it, and it's going to be good to go. So there's another card that I think is undervalued right now. It could go up it looks like paper's already starting to adjust. Yep, paper's already starting to go up. So in paper, if it goes down again, I highly recommend investing in it. Let's move on to a few other cards that, again, like the Supreme Verdict might go up in value. It's just a 2 ticket. It's gonna UI control's not going anywhere. There's a few other cards. This might be Deathrite Shaman's bottom again at 5.76, but that's what Snapcaster Mage is at. So this might be actually like the rares have a hard time getting above that. You see them every once in a while get above it, like Restoration Angel and Caverns of Souls and whatnot. But rares have a hard time getting over that $7 barrier. So not very many, as you can see. If Snapcaster Mage can't do it, I think it's really hard for any rare to really. I mean, Thragtusk 5 tickets. That's the most played rare in Standard right now. Is Thragtusk, and it can't break the 5 ticket barrier. So yeah, that's basically, I guess this is my little MTGO special Rogue Roundup. Sorry it's not beautifully done. I am not like throwing cards up and putting prices and whatnot. Eventually I'll get back to doing those videos when I have time. I am swamped with a gazillion projects. I thought since I was talking about this topic that I might as well do a little video for it and get it out there while it's still pertinent. A few other cards here. Advent the Worm has some potential, definitely. And Varls is seeing a ton of play. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Comments are greatly appreciated. We are going to try to promote the speculation aspect. Once my developer quits being lazy, there, I just insulted you on YouTube, lazy person, and starts helping me build the website again. We definitely have plans for a thing called the Rogue Roundup, which people will be able to invest in like mock credits and trade with each other, and the person at the end of the month or the end of the block or the end of whatever that we decide to have the Rogue portfolio go for is going to get some sick prizes, and it's something that I think I've got some sponsors already lined up for. And so if you're a speculator and you love the channel and you've only, like so many people have told me the only reason they're subscribed to me is my speculation, and I haven't delivered in a long time. I haven't forgotten about you guys. I'll continue to speculate. Once I get more time, I definitely will do more of these segments. And I've got a Rogue Roundup, Rogue Market. I'm going to be doing one officially, so for rotation, kind of like what I did here. So I'll have that out hopefully by the end of the month. And also we're going to actually start calling it the Rogue Roundup. I know the Rogue Roundup's kind of my name for the spotlighting other people's channels, but we're going to have like a Google Hangouts every month with roguers and speculators. So I'll have a session of where I'll get on like some of my favorite speculators, and we'll do kind of like a Google Hangout podcast type thing. I guess it's called a video cast. And we'll also do one for Rogue decks. So Micah is going to join me for another one. Micah just did one for his channel, but we'll get like Micah and a few other roguers on, and we're going to do a podcast or a video cast. So be looking forward to that. If you still have community, if you want to start your own YouTube channel, especially speculation channel, we need way more speculators on YouTube. Come on, let's do it. If you're a speculator, make a YouTube channel. I love to promote you. So if you have a video, an intro video, send it to me, and I'll put it on my Rogue deckbuilder.com channel. Rogue Roundup I've kind of killed for now until we get this channel bigger. Just hit 3,000 subs, 300,000 views. Thank you for the love and support. We're going to be doing a Kickstarter here for we definitely need some high-tech software to make these Rogue Deck of the Months and the MTGO tournaments and certain competitions actually be more aesthetically pleasing and more functioning on the website. So I'm actually going to have to, fork some money out for that. So we're going to do a Kickstarter to try to help fund that. And, I love your support. Anyway, I'll quit babbling. This is Kevin from RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.